our session tonight. You guys, we are going to talk tonight about virtual parties. How many of you have done virtual parties already?
I have.
Everybody has. Okay. Well, I don't know about you, but I've done them for quite a bit now. I'm going to say maybe 40 virtual parties. I don't know. And I like the idea of really getting a handle on structure and setting up a system that I don't have to change all the time. How does that sound to you guys?
Yeah.
Perfect.
You know, I don't know. Now, and how many of you have done live cooking shows?
I have.
Nope.
Okay. Have you found with your live cooking shows that really you do it, your show is your show. You might do a different recipe. You might talk about some different products, but your show is your show.
Mm-hmm.
So really it is the same with our virtual party. We come up with our show and then we change things. So hopefully that makes sense and will make things seem a little bit easier. With that, I am going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm doing something different tonight that I've never done before, so hopefully you're going to be able to see the Virtual Parties 101 on your screen. Do you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, the virtual parties, again, like I mentioned, once you set up a system, you're good to go. And that's really true with so many parts of our business. Once you have, there's only so many ways we can throw bookings at you or recruiting. You've got to find your way and you find your system and you're kind of good to go. So here we are. Let's talk a little bit about party themes. Now, have you ever considered using a theme for your party?
Mm-hmm.
What themes have you done?
I use things that are themed around like a certain recipe, and then I use anything that I can use to from our products that involves I use I did the new creamy cauliflower pasta in the quick cooker at my last show this past weekend, and then I used everything around that, and I have everyone use the products themselves instead of me actually showing them.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, I'm not familiar with that recipe. Creamy cauliflower.
It was a creamy cauliflower pasta something or other.
Okay.
Pasta Alfredo or something.
It was good.
It was good. I made it once at home so I could prepare, and then I made it at the show.
Okay, I know.
Everyone took it home and everything. Everyone ate it.
Oh, great. All right, awesome. So that's a great tip. Who else? Who else wants to share what they've done?
Hi, Karen. It's Sandy. So I do themes like around, like in the month, a specific holiday. So like with March, I did a cooking show where I had done some theme along that route.
Okay.
With Cinco de Mayo coming up, Mexican, ooh la la.
Yeah, that sounds like a good theme for. And again, we'll talk a little bit more on how long how long do you do your virtual parties and that kind of thing. I know that sometimes I will take I'll take Monday might be breakfast, Tuesday might be lunch, Thursday, I did miss a day already, Wednesday might be dinner, then I'll do desserts and maybe salads.
Yeah.
And then I'll pick a recipe, and then the whole day I'll post different items that use, that recipe uses. That's one way to do it too. And again, I think that there's, it's just nice to change it up sometimes, but of course save that structure so that you have it and you can use it over and over again. Here's some suggestions though. New Year, of course, is always a great thing. Healthier, people are always trying to eat healthier during, January and February. I think we're over that by now, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Now we can talk about spring. I know that, for those of us that live in, I think everybody here lives in Michigan, but we're getting ready to maybe change how we cook a little bit, maybe start, firing up the grill a little bit more. So target those types of themes. Excuse me. And then, of course, we head into June and August with summer. Summer outside parties, picnic parties, boat parties, dock parties, deck parties, entertaining people, really get out and do a lot of entertaining, and that is really a great time for us to do a lot of shows. And then, of course, in the September and October, fall hits upon us, and maybe for the summer we haven't been turning on our oven, but in the fall we like to, fire up our oven. Hi, Heather. Glad you could join us. Can you hear me, Heather? She might be muted. So anyway, so we turn on the oven, and really, of course, for me, that seems like we're really starting our stoneware. I'm such a stoneware snob, And then November and December, holidays and appetizer ideas and entertaining ideas and gifts from the kitchen, and cookie exchange parties, that kind of thing. Any other kind of theme you might think of? What else might be a Mother's Day, Father's Day? Again, if you're doing a week-long party, you can center it around what's maybe going on that week, and you can also pay attention to it's an International Popcorn Day or something like that. I'm not sure what today is. There are a lot of consultants out there that on their VIP pages post every day, what the national day of is that has to do with cooking. And that's a great way to keep your customers engaged. Hi, Rhonda. Great for you to join us tonight. Thanks a lot.
She's muted.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk a little bit about party structure. This might be a little bit hard to read. And again, there is no right way or wrong way. If you're new, I would encourage you to use this structure and then maybe change it if you feel you need to. Some people do a week-long party. That doesn't mean the whole party is a week-long. Getting some pre-party things going on, and then post for every day that week, and then of course wrapping up. It looks like I missed something off of that, but oops, I'm sorry. But personally, I like to do my parties from Sunday to Saturday, and so this is just kind of gives you an idea of how to look at that structure. So as I get ready for that, and we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about it in the next couple of slides, but thinking about Saturday as the pre-party day, getting people in, getting people invited, that kind of thing, and then a lot of engagement posts. In fact, I just posted a bunch of slides on engagement. Why is it important to use engagement posts in your parties?
So people are seeing the things that are posted. People who engage it'll pop up on their timeline more.
Yeah.
Keeps them interacted.
It keeps it, yeah, it gets them kind of warmed up. It's kind of like, if you go into a concert, the guy that warms up the act, that kind of thing, warms up the crowd. And I think it's fun. I think it's fun to get people involved. Sunday is where you talk a little bit about yourself, and you would do a tip and a game and a recipe. Again, you're just getting everybody warmed up to the party. And then Monday is more tips, another game, recipe, booking, and recruiting. I try to use a different game when I'll do a game every day, but I try to use a different, like sometimes if you use the virtual party page, how many of you use that virtual party page? Rhonda, do you know what we're talking about for virtual party page?
In Consultants Corner?
No. It's a Facebook page.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Yeah. And so if you go there, there's different games. There might be like Family Feud type things, or it might be guess how many jelly beans are in, the water infusion bottle, or that kind of thing. And of course, if you want to make it seasonal, that a lot of Easter people are in Easter and spring and that kind of thing right now. But use a different game, different tips. People love recipes. And nothing is said in here about going live, but really, I really encourage you to go live as much as you can. Maybe once a day. You don't have to do a recipe. You can pretty much just get on and, talk about the tips or say hey to people, or I think it's fun maybe to do one quick recipe or to show a product, but going live really brings you into the people, and it helps you build a relationship with people. And what happens when you build relationships with people?
Trust.
Trust. What else?
They're going to be more prone to ask you questions personally compared to somebody else. They're going to come back to you.
Mm-hmm. And they probably will book a party. And then they might even join your team. Billy Joe, I just want to kiss that little dog you've got there. And of course, and then, recruiting posts. I mean, one of the things that I just did with one of my my parties, and I tell you what, it was actually a launch party for a new consultant, and I took my old check down. Do you know how to get your check off of Pampered Chef website?
Mm-hmm.
Go to the financial information, and what I did was I screenshot it, and then I kind of blanked out what the amount was, and I put question marks all over it, posted it, and said how much was my paycheck, kind of like I did it on for our team time last night. And then they just went, there was a lot of interest. And then of course I took my paycheck then later and posted, 24. I try to vary when I'm posting the answers, so they know it's not exactly 24 hours after, but then I posted it, and that of course really piques their interest. And so what do you think? Do you guys think that you could do that? Do you think that would be interesting at your party?
That would be, yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
Okay. I think a lot of people are interested to know what kind of money we make, All right, so let's talk a little bit about some daily ideas and the schedule for daily. We're going to talk, next week we're going to talk about interacting with people, and then the next week we're going to talk about host coaching. And so we're going to be spending some time with this virtual party and getting, just again helping you get your schedule down. But you always want to, every day you want to send a host coaching message, and we'll help you with what to do with that. You probably have some ideas. Whatever you find are some of the things that, boy, Sandy, you sure are a busy girl. Are you packing to go somewhere?
No, I'm looking for something, but at the same time, I'm paying attention to you.
That's okay. That's all right. It's really important, of course, that you comment, interact, and socialize with the guests. Really refrain from just doing likes. If someone, comments, take the time to respond to them, get your host to respond to them. It might be something like, just tell me more about that. Somebody will say, well, I love my stones. Well, please tell me, which stone do you have? Which one do you use the most? Really get into some comments with them. If it's a problem, you might want to private message them and talk with them about that. If they've got an issue with a product, that kind of thing. Don't forget to always post thank yous for orders and for bookings. All right, that's really important. There's at the virtual party page, there are lots of different thank you posts that you can use. I always try to use a different one for each person. Also, Facebook will let you create a post for all of the people who have joined. Have you noticed that? So that you can welcome them to the page, to welcome them to the group. Have you
Karen,
noticed?
how are you doing that? How on the Facebook welcome?
Okay. When you create the group, and then when your host, starts inviting people, it's going to say up at the upper right. It's going to say, "These people have joined. Welcome them."
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh yeah.
Is that in the group or events?
It's in the group. I personally don't use events.
Yeah, I don't like events either.
Yeah.
I've done groups and it didn't work for Jack. I've done events and it's worked for me.
Well, that's what's important. The thing about it is that if you use a posting service, you can't use events. So if you're using like SendShare or Post My Party, you have to use groups.
Oh, okay.
So, but again, there's no right or there's no wrong. And if you prefer to manually post, that's terrific. I just don't have the time for that. So, But I guess I've had really great luck with groups because I used to do events until Facebook changed and wouldn't let us post to events with schedulers.
I keep groups because then I always have them. So if I have a new sale going on or anything, I always go back in every group I've ever had and I post it. And I get a lot of interaction sometimes from, old groups people would think are dead, but there are things that, pop up sometimes.
I think that's a really great idea. It's a great way to keep in contact with people and maybe, let them know that there's an opportunity night coming up or a special whatever. Yeah. How do you keep track of them, Amber?
Well, they're all actually saved in my group thing, and I just keep, if I have current groups, I put them in my favorites until.
Uh-oh. Looks like we're having a little internet issue in Gaylord. No. Okay, so back to now checkout chat. Does anyone know? And we'll talk more about this, but do you know what a checkout chat is?
No.
Can't say that I do.
When someone places an order, you might want to private message them. You think that, you're going to thank them publicly, but you want to maybe have a little discussion with them. Are you enjoying the party? What did you? I think one of the questions you need to ask from everyone is, what intrigued you about Pampered Chef? Did I say anything that intrigued you about Pampered Chef? Because then that takes you into, have you ever thought about doing what I do?
Okay, that's a good idea. I like that.
And checkout chat is also something that you do even at live parties when you're checking them out. Just a little chat, like, did you have a good time? Did you like the recipe? Well, anything just to get the conversation flowing, get them saying yes. Would you make those recipes for your family? That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So that's what we call checkout chat.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome new guests, like I mentioned. Privately message hosts outside of group, and then how many of you are married or have kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
You are probably used to getting people to do things you want them to do without them knowing that you're making them do it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we do. That's what we're doing with our hosts. We want them to act as, to encourage people to place an order, to plant recruit seeds. Pick 5 people that you think would be interested in having a show and private message them. And, you get 3 bookings and I will, give you something that, whatever. But you're going to work in the background with your hosts to make those things happen in the party. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And we're going to talk more about that in the next couple of weeks. Okay. Oopsie, did I get this wrong? Oh, I have something out of order here. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, this is right. We're going to the pre-party now. And, this is when you book the party and, your party's going to start on Sunday. The date is really what you call the booking date. That's when the party is. So the Thursday before, you're going to create the party on Consultants Corner. You're going to create the Facebook group and add the host to the group. Connect. There's this person's using post my party or your post scheduler to the Facebook group. That's important. And then you're going to send a host packet to host. And we really recommend that you send tell your host I'm going to be sending you a few catalogs. Make sure they're going to use them. If they're going to say I don't really want that. I have had people say I don't really need that. Then I won't do it. But do try to send them a host packet so that they can target the people. I mean, and again, not all their friends are on Facebook usually, right?
Mm-hmm.
So encourage that. Again, Facebook sometimes works a little bit goofy. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So really we found that the best way to get people as part of the group or event is to send them the link as opposed to having your host invite them. the thing about it is if she invites them, she really needs to kind of babysit to make sure that they've said going. But really, giving them the link is one of the best ways. Some people use a group message to keep, like, some people do 4 virtual parties a week. Some people do 10 virtual parties a week. And sometimes they'll have a special group for their hosts, and then they will get their hosts to compete a little bit, or they can just, get messages to their hosts all at once, so they're not having to individually message each host. So you can make a decision, and some people like to do that, some people don't like to do that, but that's your decision. But it, of course, is important that you message your host every day. Write all your hosts on the tracker to track their completion of daily tasks, and we'll work on the tracker for that. Okay, so let's go to the next day, the Friday pre-party. Check to make sure the hosts have joined the party, and I've got a couple parties going on right now, and nobody's invited anybody. So when I get off here tonight, I'm going to be touching base with them, saying, hey, are you invite people? What's going on here? And then, message them to remind them. Welcome new guests, of course, post thank yous, and do checkout chats for anyone that ordered, interact with guests. Now, I don't know, there are people out there who put a lot of emphasis on getting orders in right away. I personally find that most people wait till the end of the party to place their order. So I don't usually get too nervous about orders until Thursday. And then because quite frankly, I want people to see my post, and hopefully they're going to order from the post that I have. But that's a matter of preference. I do usually an early bird drawing on Monday night at 10 o'clock, so anybody that's already on, I get them to invite their guests. So and then I'll do a little prize on Monday night at 10 o'clock, and of course, and then post that in the group.
Karen, how do you, I know you do a lot of these ticket kind of posts, you earn this many tickets or whatever. How do you keep track of all of that? Because I've tried and I'm like, it's literally, I don't even know. It's not even a thing for me.
Well, there are times like if I know, sometimes I'll count how many posts I did. Like you could go, okay, I personally do posts. I do 3 posts at 9, 12, 3, 6, and 9. That's the structure of my virtual parties. And I do them like 9 o'clock, 9:01, 9:02, because they only get 1 notification for those 3.
Okay.
So that's why I do that. Now, so I might say, I might have, like, I might even just say to my husband, pick a number between 1 and 7, how many days I did the party. Pick a number between 1 and, what's 9, 1 and 16, how many posts I did. And I'll go to that post, and then I'll go, okay, I have 3 comments, pick 1 for the 3, that person wins. I mean, there's just some different ways you can do that. There's something called Riffle Raffle that you can, do things with. But
okay, so it's not necessarily keeping track of that. It's kind of more of a drawing type of thing.
Yeah, and there are some consultants who they like to keep track of it by the day, and then just to create interest, like, oh, look at Amber's got the most things today, blah blah blah. I mean, it does keep things more interesting, and if you've got the time for that, I think that does make a difference. At first, I didn't think that those were important, but the games and everything are really important. They're really important.
So do you when you do pick a winner, do you add only to someone who is ordering then, or say like, add, or you send it anyways?
No, technically, legally, people don't have to make a purchase to be part of it. So I do something, like a season's best. Actually, I do have a graphic that I have different prizes depending on the level of the party.
Right. Okay. Yep.
And it could be, and I try to make things that are easy to mail, like the easy clean cloths, or the mini, the small flexible mats. Those types of things as a prize, and it's not too expensive, and I try to keep some of them on hand. By the way, I always order those items when I'm doing a show for a friend or I'm doing a show myself, and I always order them on the host's order with the discount.
Right.
Okay.
I actually just used someone's 60%. They didn't need any new cookware, so I just used their 60% on, and I got all the new pots and pans.
Okay, let me just, well, we got a few minutes here. I just want to tell you an idea with that, Amber, because if I never order the 50% off items.
No.
Okay, so I do my host orders. I do my host order.
And
I get everything ready, get it ready to send. Then I unclick it because I get their discount. I'm making commission on it, and I get sales points for it.
Okay, so you unclick.
I very seldom order anything at 60% off or 50% off, because if you put pencil to paper, because if you're working for the Disney trip or you're working for your 15%, or your 15,000. It's sometimes worth it to even spend a little bit of money, but you get all the sales points for it. It puts you into a higher bracket in terms of income. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right.
Yeah. So does that make sense to everybody? It might not be.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's some the pre-party thing. Okay. Saturday pre-party. Send do your host coaching. Welcome. Excuse me. Any more new guests? Thank yous, and to check out chats again. I'm finding out that people don't usually order that soon, but and then of course interact with anyone. You're doing your engagement, maybe doing an engagement post there or not. But I like to have a few things, although I don't post as much pre-party. I do like to put some things in there for the people who have said that they're going, and just to keep them kind of warmed up. If that makes sense. Day one. Go do your host coaching. Tell your host what you want her to do that day or him to do that day. So that's really important. You've got to if you don't have engaged hosts, and it's true with a live party, you're going to, you really want to have 4 virtual parties on your calendar. You want to have 2 virtual parties for every 1 live party in terms of what you want your goals to be. And because you're going to have one that does well, one that doesn't, one that's okay, and a couple maybe that suck. So we all have parties that are duds, but I'm going to tell you, as you develop your host coaching, remember, host coaching is where you earn your paycheck. Your show is where you go to pick it up. And how effective you are with your host coaching is going to make a huge difference in your shows. So
how do you handle if you are host coaching and they're like, oh yeah, and then they're not doing anything. They're like, oh yeah, I'm doing it, and they're not. How do you handle with that?
Well, that's their lying. They're lying there.
Yes.
I mean, you just take whatever, and again, this is even true with consultants. When people aren't doing what they say they're doing, you take them back to, I want to help you get that free cookware. You want to find out why they're having a party. So that when you need to do that right at the beginning, because I want to help you get there,
Right.
If it's just like you as a consultant, if you want to earn Disney and you're not doing what you say you're doing, because, gosh, Amber, I'm really kind of confused. I wanted to help you earn your Disney,
Right.
So take them back to why, to what the goals are. Okay, always welcome new guests. Thank you, checkouts, interact with guests, and then track host activity completion. And I'm going to learn a little bit more about that. I'm actually not too sure about what this is, but again, probably what you're just talking about, Amber, making sure that you're doing what they said they were going to do.
Right.
Day 2, host coaching message. Welcome any more guests, more thank yous. So every day, do you see a pattern here? Remember, some of the things that you want to remember, again, as part of your structure is, like for me, I have, the cafe during the day. I can't do anything during the day. So if I'm going to respond to a game, I know it's got to be at a certain time after 4 o'clock. So I have to know that this day is this game, and I better check to see what's going on with that. Okay? So those are the kind of things you're going to want to keep track of. Answer your games and, just remember, because you want to stay on top of that. Okay, Monday, Tuesday. Now you're going to want to send reminders to invited guests that have not joined, and you may want your host to get involved in that. Your host coaching message, welcome. Again, we have our routine here of what we're doing every day. Now, when you get into the routine of doing this, really, how much time do you think that this would take?
Not that much time.
You know, 5-10 minutes, you're going to go. I mean, so even if you've got 4 shows, you've got, 5 or 10 minutes, for each party to kind of go in and just see what's going on. And if you do that in the morning and you do that in the evening, that's, you're going to have a great show. Dropping, your messages to your host about what they need to be doing. So again, it's just setting up that structure about what you want to have happen. Okay, Wednesday. This is where you might, when you go in and edit the group or the event and change the party name, what happens that everybody gets this notice now? Did you know about this trick?
No.
Yeah, you go in and just change the name of the party. Some people will change the banner. I'm not sure. I think that this actually has more impact than changing the banner. But you order by midnight for an extra raffle ticket. It doesn't have to be another free gift. It can be 5 extra raffle tickets. Remember, no matter how many raffle tickets you give away, you're still giving away the same prize. Okay.
Right.
So,
True.
all right. Send a host coaching mat, and again, everything else is the same. Thursday.
There.
2 days left to order. You want to change that. Do a booking challenge. This is where you might want to say to your host, a private message, send this message and tell them what message you want to send. Send this to 5 people, and, you'll probably get 3 bookings from that. So remember, you always want to book 2 parties from every party. You want to do that so that first of all, your host is getting a 50% off item every time she has a party or they have a party. And of course, your calendar is going to be full. So booking challenges, welcome new guests, thank you, interact with guests, see how your host is doing with her activity, answer any game from the day before, and then you might want to add free gifts. Again, some people, are any of you on a direct ship?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where you want to be a little bit careful about how you're sending gifts. But again, that might be an incentive. Okay, Friday. Here's a few things to do. Change the party name, last day to order. Continue working on your booking challenge. Comment to guests that have played games and participated but haven't ordered. Again, we're going to talk about that next section about what to say to them. Post a Google survey slip. How many of you use a Google survey slip? This is really important, and there are instructions on JoePack. I hope you know how to use the search function in JoePack so that you can go in and say Google form. And there is a video by Charlotte and the guy on how to create a Google form, because you want everybody filling out that form, and you're going to give them raffle tickets for filling out that form. And then you're going to be able to ask them, what month would be the best month for you to have a party? What intrigued you the most about this, about this party? And so it's like your door prize slip that you would use at a live party.
Oh,
Okay? Great way to get people involved.
that's awesome.
Yeah, every party you need to have a Google survey slip. And what I'll do is I'll post mine. And then connect a VIP group to the party group. You can tell them that you're going to, anybody that wants to be part of your VIP group, you want to make sure that you're inviting people to be in your VIP group. You want to, build everywhere you can. And use, this is one of the reasons you're doing virtual parties, because you want to build your presence. You want to build your customer base. You want to work on getting those 5,000 friends, so Facebook friends. And then everything else is the same. Send booking messages to people. And so then we have Saturday. You want to go make sure that the party doesn't expire in terms of people placing their order. Sometimes that's an easy thing to forget. Make sure the party is still open so they can go onto the link and order. Do a Saturday host coaching message. Follow up with leads. Do a door prize. Do your door prize. I personally don't do my door prizes. My last day of posting for me is Saturday, and Sunday is the day to wrap up, get what my host wants, and then because I tell them that they get raffle ticket. They get a raffle ticket for every $1 they spend. So it isn't until their order is in that I really know how many tickets they're going to get. and then add extra free gifts to orders that earn them. So that is about our structure. And again, you could do Wednesday to Wednesday if you want. Again, just get your routine going in terms of what you want to have happen on your virtual party. So does this
Karen,
help? Yes.
I've been seeing in the virtual party page different people talking or referencing to 3-day parties. Is that something we should look at, or
It's really whatever you want to try. It's really whatever you and Lori Coleman does a 1-hour party. She does, but she works like maybe for 3 days to work out to it, getting people involved and doing an engagement and saying, okay, at 8 o'clock we're going to be live, and she'll do a live party. So there's really no rhyme. There's only the way you want to do it. I would encourage you, and what I'm working on too is I'm working on a party. A structure that you can take and use if you want to. It's whatever, as long as you're going out and doing it. I just don't want I don't want people to get stymied into what's better, 3-day, 7-day, 1 day, whatever. Right. Just do it.
Right.
Just do it.
Right.
But yeah, you're going to see all kinds of options there.
Is there? I noticed you talking about making a 10 or 11 o'clock post. Do you have much success at that late in the evening, or?
I just do till 9 o'clock, but 10 o'clock is the deadline for people joining, so that I'm not really posting at 11 at 10 o'clock. There's a lot of research out there about when people are on Facebook, and people, again, depends on people. Some people work midnight shift, some people work day shift. So I try to make not any assumptions. That's why I like to do a 7-day party, and that's why I like to span them. But again, you don't have to substitute my judgment for yours. But
some of the last surveys that I heard was the biggest numbers seem to fall Sunday night around 7.
Yeah.
One of the surveys I recently.
Well, and I know that at 3 o'clock during the day, if people are in their office, they're usually bored at 3 o'clock. They're waiting for the time. They're waiting for 5 o'clock. They're probably on their computers. Yeah. So, again, we can't rationalize that, things.
Right.
Just put it out there. And, but I just like the routine of that. But yeah, just get out and do it. Get your 4 shows scheduled right now. Be ready for next weekend doing 4 shows. That's the biggest tip I can give you, and start practicing all this. Okay.
Okay. We've
got less than a minute. We'll keep talking till it ends, but feel free to get on the Joe Pack and ask any questions you've got. And then next week we'll talk about, how to talk with people behind the scenes, because that is where it's not all your posting that really matters. It's your host and how you're coaching your host and what you're saying to people behind the scenes. That's right. Like, you can see how I do a live party, but you don't see how I talk to my host. You don't see how I host coach. And again, you earn your paycheck by host coaching, and you pick up your paycheck by doing the party. Okay?
Sounds good.
I hope you picked up a tip tonight.
I did, for sure.
Good. Thanks a lot. See you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Karen. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, Karen.
Yeah.
There's my puppies.
Oh, aren't they sweet?
Oh.
Everybody's all cuddled up.
One's 150 pounds, the other one's 5 pounds.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
It looks like the 5-pound one is ruling the roost there.
Oh, pretty much.
I see a cute little baby Kristen too. Glad you could join us too.
Yeah.
Bye, you guys.